Truckers with sleep apnea, CPAP works, and we need you. We need you now more than ever before. So this video is for anybody who is a trucker, who knows a trucker, who knows someone who wants to be a trucker. Perhaps you want to be a trucker, you're going to go to school, you're trying to learn how the DOT and the health card all works. Perhaps you are already a trucker, you've been a trucker for many years and think that perhaps you might have sleep apnea. Stay with us, and I'm going to share all of this information with you from A to Z, everything you ever wanted to know, plus a question and answer at the end where I'll answer all of your questions. So first of all, check this out.
We can talk to truckers.
Okay.
Breaker, channel 19. You got the soul of soul looking for the snake eyes. Come on back.
10-4, over and out.
I know trucking, it's changed a lot. Those are from some pretty old movies. And today I understand truckers don't even really use a CB radio a lot anymore. Some do, some don't. If you are a trucker, let me know what state you're from and do you use a CB radio? I'm just curious. I'm still the guy that would, do this in the window whenever you're riding by, hoping you'll honk the horn. But trucking is a very serious business. And, whether you are a trucker within a state or you're going interstate, trucking is something that we all need very much. And for you personally, I understand, that's your job. That is your family's income, or at least part of your family's income. And it's super important that everything goes smoothly and goes well. And, without truckers, our economy can get really bad, really fast. And so check this out.
What is it?
The truckers are on strike. Roads are all blocked.
Inflation, food shortages. Now that's inflation.
Inflation is obviously a serious problem.
Inflation is happening right now, and a piece of the puzzle for why inflation is happening right now is definitely a shortage of workers. Even more importantly, it is a shortage of truck drivers. We're not getting as many truck drivers as there used to be. Many of you who are in the industry can attest to that. That causes shortages of all the supplies and the food, etc., that we need. And a little piece of the reason that there aren't enough truckers, I believe, is because of the sleep apnea requirements. And that's why I wanted to go over this. I want to make sure everyone is really super clear on what this is all about: the sleep apnea, the CPAP, the sleep test, the health card. And so we're gonna be discussing all of that right now as we go. So let's go ahead and get into it right now, into the meat of it. First question I want to answer: is it possible to pass the DOT CDL Health Physical if you have sleep apnea, or if you have sleep apnea? And the answer is absolutely yes. Absolutely, it's possible to not only pass the test, but to flourish as a truck driver after knowing that you have sleep apnea. Why is it important? Is sleep apnea even really a big deal? So here I want to talk about sleep apnea a little bit, and it's actually super underdiagnosed. Here's a statistic that a lot of people don't really realize. It's estimated that around 22 million people, this is just in the US, 22 million people in the US probably have sleep apnea, and somewhere around over 17 million of those don't even know that they have sleep apnea. They may suspect it, but or they may not even suspect it. They may not know why they're having health problems and they can't sleep, etc. But it's super underdiagnosed, and so why is it even important? But sleep apnea is happening when you fall asleep into the deepest stage of sleep, and all of the muscles in your entire body actually relax, and including your airway. So your airway will actually close off in that deep sleep. Your breathing stops, and you typically will wake up with a gasp of air, or you might not even wake up with a gasp of air, but you have these apneas through the night, and it keeps you from falling into that deepest stage of sleep, having the sleep apnea. And as a driver, if you're not getting enough sleep, it actually impacts you. By its nature, sleep apnea disrupts your sleep quality and patterns, and so can negatively impact your alertness and reaction times, which are, as you know, two things that are super important, especially when driving a big rig, that your reaction times must be very, very fast. And if you're not sleeping well, then that could definitely be an issue. Does having sleep apnea disqualify you automatically from the CDL? And so here's the answer to that. If you are diagnosed with sleep apnea and refuse treatment or refuse to use the treatment given to you, then yes, you can be denied the CDL. However, many truckers, and I know many of them, they actually do great with their CPAP machine. They can be compliant and being a very effective driver for their company. So why are DOT requirements for sleep? Why are there DOT requirements for sleep apnea testing, or what are they? Actually, there are no laws requiring the DOT physical for sleep apnea. However, DOT does require a medical examination for drivers to receive and maintain a CDL license. During the examination, a medical examiner will determine if you require sleep apnea testing. So actually, next question that a lot of people ask: how does medical examiner determine if you need sleep apnea testing? So with that, the series of questions, neck measurement, and general observation. Well, let's talk about that a little bit. Like, what are these questions that you're going to be asked? I think that a lot of times the questions will start with, are you sleeping well at night? Does anyone tell you that actually you wake up in that you stop breathing while you're sleeping? Many of the physicians will actually do a measurement of your neck. They'll literally just take a measurement, and the larger your neck, the more likely you would have sleep apnea. They'll ask you, do you snore loudly? That is a sign of sleep apnea. Are you sleepy a lot during the day? Do you like fall asleep while you're watching TV? Do you wake up with morning headaches? Do you go to the restroom very frequently? That's another sign. So actually, within the questions that you're being asked, many doctors will have a really good idea just with the questionnaire as to whether or not you have sleep apnea, because there's a super high percentage of people that do have sleep apnea when a certain number of these questions are answered yes. So that is the first key that your doctor is going to have is, by the way you answered those questions, they're going to know whether or not you need to go get tested, which also explains why is it that so many people who go take the sleep test actually end up having sleep apnea. Well, that's why, because they don't even ask you to take the test unless you've answered enough questions yes, and you probably are going to have sleep apnea if that actually is indeed the case. By the way, let me stop here just for a moment. If you would notice down on the bottom of the screen, it says comment #trucker. So if you put that in the comments with no spaces, #trucker, then you'll automatically be entered into a little contest we'll do here at the end to give away a gift card to our website, affinityhm.com. And my name is Chris. I work for affinityhm.com. Full disclosure, we do home sleep study testing through another company. We don't do it directly, but we refer. And then we also can set up CPAP machines if you so wish. But that is what I do. I've set up thousands of CPAP machines. I've had hundreds of truckers as customers, and I've seen a lot of really good results over the years. So let's move on. Let's move on to the next question. How much time do I have to get the sleep test and the CPAP? Now that obviously is going to be super important because let's say you're working. All right, you're providing income for your family, and it's determined that you might have sleep apnea. Well, if the clock starts then, because they're only going to give you, as I understand it, 30-day or 60-day or a 90-day extension, depending on the company and depending on the situation. So whatever does happen needs to happen very, very quickly before that extension runs out. So that's why you want to know how long is it going to take to first get the home sleep study. Then if you do have sleep apnea, get the CPAP. And then finally, you're going to have to show a report that shows you're actually using the CPAP. And that's crucial. We want to get it all done for sure within a 90-day period. And how many days does it take to go through the process, the sleep study, the CPAP, and the compliance report? So here are my estimations. Roughly, it would take about 2 weeks to get the home sleep study. That is if you get the study done at home. So there's going to be an option here. It can be an in the lab study or it can be an in the home study. If you choose to do the study in the lab, or if the company requires it to be done that way, it's really difficult. Most sleep labs are extended far out to get a home sleep study. But if you have to go to a lab and you talk to the doctor about your situation, providing income for your family, it's possible that they'll bump you up into the list with an extreme situation. So definitely communicate. If you don't do the in the lab study, if you choose to do the in the home study, they can be performed a lot quicker. And that is because it's just a simple unit that would be mailed to your home. And we'll go over that. I'll show you a little bit more about that here later in the video and what that actually looks like. But roughly about 2 weeks for the home sleep study, about 1 week to actually get the CPAP. That's assuming that they are in stock. And then after you have the CPAP, different companies require different things. Some require just show me 1 week that you've used the CPAP and things are going well. Some say 2 weeks. Some say actually 30 days. So if you have a 90-day extension, there's 30 days right there. So you're really looking at somewhere around 30 to 60 days, depending on the situation. So time is of the essence. If it's determined that you need to get a home sleep study or a sleep study, then it's super important to really get going really fast on that. All right, next question. What does the sleep test involve? So if you aren't sure about what a sleep test, I'm going to show you like I said, there's the lab test and then there's the home test. This one that I'm about to show you is the device one would use for the actual home test. If I can get it out of this packaging. Okay. It's super small and it's super simple. This is it right here. Let me let you get a really good close look at it. It's a simple little device that actually it comes with also so like a Band-Aid, like a stretchy Band-Aid that you simply just put it onto your index finger. You level it up here at the top, and then you wrap the stretchy Band-Aid, holding it right onto your finger. And then you also have a phone app that you pair this with the phone app, and then you simply go to sleep. And this, believe it or not, this can tell if you have sleep apnea. It uses a lot of super high technology, blood flow, the colorization of the blood for oxygen levels, the pulse rate, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of information actually going in there right from your finger to determine whether or not you have sleep apnea. And so those reports that are in your phone app are actually going to a doctor, and the doctor reads the report, makes a determination, orders a CPAP. And even prior to that, with our system, the first step would be to actually do an online consultation with a sleep physician. So check that out. I'll put that down in comments. I'll put that down in the description so that you can see what the process is. And it also is typically covered by insurance, by the way. So, all right. So moving on, the sleep study may be performed at home or in a sleep lab. And so if CPAP is prescribed and I use it, will I then be able to drive with a CDL? So what you're asking there is really just like, if I actually go ahead and use the CPAP and I have, let's say I have serious sleep apnea, will I then be able to drive my truck? Drivers must use CPAP machines at least 4 hours per night, 70% of the time. Drivers beginning CPAP treatment may be certified if they have successfully treated for a minimum of 1 week. So like I said before, sometimes it's 1 week, sometimes it's 30 days that you got to get the report and show it to your company doctor. And so depending on how much you're using it. So compliance is super important. You saw you see in these numbers here that typically it's 70% of the nights and at least 4 hours each night that it must be used. So the machines have a little card and data is being recorded every time you actually use the CPAP. So that's where you're going. If you end up having sleep apnea, you would get a CPAP machine. There are other options and other therapies that you would talk to your doctor about. Typically, it's the CPAP machine, almost always. So how do I get the 30-day compliance report? Now, there are several options and ways to get that compliance report. There is an SD card reader and software, or a doctor download, or your medical, whoever provided the CPAP to you can download it. Now, I think the easiest, most simplest way to actually get that is to actually probably just do it yourself. Like we have with our CPAP machines, there's a tiny little SD card in the side of the machine, and that can be removed. You can purchase a card reader. They're very inexpensive. They're like $15. And then you can get the software that goes with it and put that software onto your own computer and literally download your own information. You can find in there within a 30-day period the requirement that they're looking for. Print that bad boy out, take it out to the doctor or to your company, whoever's requiring it, and that should do the trick. So that is one option. If you're like me, as you can probably see through this video, not super technically savvy, but you may prefer to have your medical equipment company do that for you, which would entail probably mailing the SD card today. There's a lot of problems with the Wi-Fi automatic pickup. So mailing the SD card or take it into them and have them download it for you, print out a report. So that's definitely going to be required if you do indeed have sleep apnea. So I'm looking to see if anybody has any questions. In the meantime, type into comments #trucker, and you'll be entered into this contest we're going to do here in just a minute. So write in comments #trucker. Somebody's going to win a gift card. So let me take a look at comments over here and see. I see some people are entering the contest. We have Kimberly here. Hi, Kimberly. Thanks for being here. Sanook Weather. Hi. #trucker. Diane is here. #trucker. And Judy is here. Hi, Judy. How you doing? Welcome. All right. And so Diane says, before I got my CPAP, my sister said I sounded like I was sawing old growth forest. Yeah. Well, most people who snore very loudly are the same who have sleep apnea. Not always, though. And that's why it's important to go through the questionnaire. Find out if you even really qualify for the sleep test. And if they determine through the questionnaire that you do, I highly recommend it, because CPAP is legitimate. It's real. It really, really does work. And I sincerely believe that having the sleep test and getting a CPAP will make you happy long run. You may not like it initially, and that's true for a lot of people. Initially, it's a little bit difficult to kind of get used to. Sometimes it's more than a little bit difficult to get used to having that mask and that pressure. However, I've seen it so many times over the years that it's difficult in the beginning and you're ready to throw it out the window or crush it with a sledgehammer. And then a month later, you literally love it and you can't sleep without it, nor do you want to sleep without it. So it can really make a difference in your life. If you have sleep apnea and it is untreated, we talked earlier about how it can slow down your reflexes, make you sleepy, but there's a lot more to it than that. It also can affect your cognitive ability, the sharpness of your mind, headaches, high blood pressure. It can affect your weight, it slows down your metabolism. Nothing is really working as well as it could be. And I've had a lot of patients who would say to me, I was 45 or 50 years old, and I was feeling slow and sluggish. And before CPAP, I really thought it was just because of my age. And then after I got CPAP, I realized that actually, I feel good. I'm 45, 50 years old, and I feel better now than I did when I was 30. Even heard numbers lower than that before. So that's really the truth. And if you indeed are experiencing any symptoms like we talked about earlier, the loud snoring, the headaches in the morning, the sleepiness through the day, please definitely contact your doctor and talk to them about the possibility of sleep apnea so we can get the test done. We can get the CPAP if needed, and change your life for the better. And then in addition to that, keep your health card, stay card up. So let's see if there are no other questions, then we're going to conclude the session for tonight. I want to thank everyone. No, I need to actually do the giveaway. So hold on one second. Let's get over here. Let's get over here. I see Bob is here. Bob just entered. So I'm going to share a screen with you here so that you can actually see the drawing yourself. Hashtag trucker. This is going to be your last chance, guys, if you want to get into the drawing. So we've got a few people in here. And all right, here we go. Let's see who wins the gift card for tonight. And the gift card to affinityhm.com goes to Diane Lovedahl. Diane Lovedahl. Congratulations, Diane. I see you're watching this from YouTube, and appreciate you being here. And Diane, you know what to do. Just shoot me an email or even come by the shop if you wish, and we'll get you taken care of with that gift card. So if you're a trucker, please share this, like the video, subscribe, or join the group, or like the page, comment, ask a question. If you have a question, I would love to try to answer it for you. And so all you truckers out there, best wishes to you. And I'm here for you if you need me. Y'all have a good evening, everybody. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.